hang on. Yay! We're live.
We did it.
Okay, well, welcome everyone who is seeing this past, present, and future. That's funny because I don't know if anyone's seen it in the past, but maybe. Anywho, you never know these days, right? That's the best way to start this whole little conversation that I'm going to be having with my dear friend Jocelyn. And I asked her to come on because I'm starting this fun little adventure series. And I think a lot of people probably are curious about it, but they're not really sure what it is. So here we are. That's actually what Jocelyn was like. I don't know if people really get it. And, that's not surprising because there's a lot of things we do where I feel like, whoop, I go right up over people's heads. So if you're one of those people who is currently feeling like whatever this is, it's intriguing, but it's a little over your head, a little too much to not, so much that you're not sure you want to choose it. Here's a little
snippet.
Here's a little video just for you.
So for
what
is it? When does it start?
Yeah, right. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Car Wright, and I facilitate access consciousness. I've been using the tools for a very, very, very long time, and I love them. And yeah, so that's what that is. And
she's also an X-Men facilitator.
I am. Yeah, I was just going to say there are certain specialties and bodies of work that have obviously struck me because they really apply to my life and living, which is actually one of my favorite things about the access tools is that there are so many. There are some that you're going to use all the time. There are some that are like, yeah, I use those here and there, but the X-Men body of work, which is basically for all of us who are completely nerdy, wired, totally different, communicate really weird. This reality calls us autistic, ADD, ADHD, OCD, all the little acronyms, neurodivergent, on the spectrum. There's so many things now. So yes, that is one of my things that I talk about a lot because it's something that I use for myself and I love it. And usually when I am coming on here to do any sort of a series or any sort of a class or anything that I'm excited about telling other people about, it's because I myself found it, have applied it, and it has made a big difference for me personally. So very rarely am I ever going to talk about something that I haven't used for myself and found that it was phenomenal in allowing me to create my own life. So that was a good little intro. Thanks, Jocelyn.
You're welcome.
Jocelyn's kind of my wingman because it's really hard for those of you that are neurodivergent. How hard is it for you to go on and just talk to no one? Space. You know how some people do the whole lives, and I know lives you're technically not talking to no one because there are people watching you, but it's just a little more easy for me to have a conversation than it is to just speak into space. So that's what we're here for. And if you haven't seen yet the series that I'm going to be doing, basically this is going to be an ongoing series. And I'm going to let it have its own energy and personality. I'm not exactly sure. Each call will have a specific topic, but it will basically be generated by who picks it, who chooses it, and what questions they have and where we're going. And the thing that I love about consciousness in general is that it's always changing. It never stays the same. And also it invites you as a being to actually always change as well and to never stay the same, which again is another one of my favorite things that I get to invite people to is that, hey, you don't have to keep choosing the same thing over and over again, especially if it's not working for you. Sometimes things work for a period of time and then it would be great if you chose something different, but how often do we actually do that, right? Most of the time we're taught to stay, have stability and be committed to one thing and to keep choosing the same thing over and over again as if that makes you, I don't know, a good adult or something. I'm not sure what that's supposed to do.
Sometimes you don't realize that you're doing that. You don't have the awareness that you actually are choosing something over and over again. And then you get it and you're like, I don't really like this.
Why again did I choose this in the first place? And why do I keep choosing it? Which again, that's going to be, I think the first call that we're having, which is coming up this Friday, that's going to be a lot of what the first call will be about is like, what is freaking choice?
Yay!
Everybody says you should have choice and that you can choose, but what does that even mean? And so I love being able to give people that information of like, hey, there's a different perspective here you could actually tap into. And you may choose to use the tool or the perspective might start to change something for you, or maybe it doesn't apply to you in that moment. It's not really relevant. Some of the other fun things about this particular choose your own adventure is that it's completely choose your own adventure. So there is no price point. You get to choose what you want to pay for the call. I know for a lot of people that's like uncomfortable because you don't know what to choose. So here's what I would say to you. And this is, I've had people contact me already and be like, oh my God, I want to take your call, but I don't want to, like, I don't know what the amount is. You didn't actually give a minimum, like, here's what's really funny is that there's a lot of people that are saying, well, I've done something where you can choose your own amount to pay for the call, but usually there's 3 amounts to choose from. It's like, exactly. That's the energy of the call. So if this time around you just choose it and you pay nothing, that's fine. Like people, the minute someone chooses, like this is one of the things about consciousness another thing I love. And I actually love doing classes and I love doing calls is that the minute someone chooses your call or your class, they become part of the energy of the creation of that class, even if you don't know them. Like they saw something that you'd put out into the world, it lit something up for them. They say yes to it. That starts to generate the energy of whatever that class is going to create in the world. That's the exciting part for me. Like my favorite part of facilitating is seeing who shows up and seeing what they bring to the call and like what they would like to have different and what they want to choose with their lives. And then we just go about looking at like how do you get there? Like what types of things can you start to shift? What energies can you tap into? What can you clear? What's limiting you? All of those types of things. So truly, if you're someone who's like, I don't really know what this is, I have no idea how much to pay for it, just choose it. There's literally, you can just not pay anything, which is 100% fine. Now, if you want to pay $5, great. If you want to pay $1,000, perfect. Like you literally, it's up to you. Choose your own adventure. And I hope that people don't allow that level of what it makes them uncomfortable. That was a little bit of a dyslexic way of saying it. Now you know that I'm actually serious when I say I have all these things that I talk about. Anyways, if it makes you uncomfortable, choose it anyway. Just choose it because you're going to have awarenesses about yourself. You're going to have awarenesses about so many things, and you will be creating whatever energy that this call is to, like, in consciousness. Like consciousness is not something that anyone has any sort of rights over. Like we all have, there's a million different ways that you can tap into consciousness. And every time you tap into it, then every time you choose something in a way that is actually like you're choosing from what you know, you are contributing to consciousness being different on the planet for everything and everyone. So that is really the invitation to choose your own adventure. The idea came from the fact that my favorite freaking books when I was a little girl were the choose your own adventure books. And I'm aging myself at this point. But for those of you that don't know what those books are, there was a period of time in history where they had books where you literally could read. And then after a couple chapters, it would say, now, if, you can go and skip to this chapter, or you can skip to this chapter. And each time you went to different places, you would literally be choosing the way that the book unfolded for yourself. And depending on how many different, there's a myriad of different ways in which the book can unfold. They were my favorite books and I was obsessed with them. And I realize now, as an adult who lost my ability to choose through growing up and then found my ability to choose after years of depression and anxiety. I realized how much that was such a nurturing energy to have in my life. So again, that's another thing that these are, is they're designed to be a nurturing energy for you to have in your life. The target is I'm going to be having 2 a month. We will let you know when those are occurring. Is there anything that you want to say, Jocelyn?
I'm
You're
really
so pretty on my
my plants.
yeah, I was gonna say with your redwoods,
Yes.
joining in on the call. She was sitting somewhere else, and then she moved in front of those trees, and I was like, "Oh my god."
They wanted to be in the video.
Totally.
I think everything you just said is really the invitation, and it's, like, kind of freeform, and Cara is amazing at freeform and X-Men facilitation, and if you are literally watching this and you're like, "I don't know what they're saying or what they're talking about, and, like, I don't really know when this call is," it's this Friday.
Yes.
Um,
It's Friday.
just try it out. Like, there's nothing to lose, and she mentioned earlier that there's, like, some discomfort or uncomfortableness that comes from, like, not knowing what to pay or, like, not really knowing what the call's about, and
Not knowing what to expect.
not knowing what to expect, and my invitation is, one of the things that I'm doing for 2025, which I've been doing for a long time, but it's like, let's lean into the discomfort. We can't there's, like
Totally.
it's not really real. It's kind of the discomfort is like, "Hey, something might change."
Yeah.
And it could change in, like, a really beautiful way. So, that's all.
I love that. And I think on that note, we will say goodbye. We hope to see you on the calls. And if you have any questions, you can always ping me, in Messenger, wherever you see me on social media. And you can always email me at talktocarawright@gmail.com. And I have a website at carawright.com. And look at the amazing sunshine. And you can always go there and check out information about this class and all the future classes. And thank you so much for staying with us and listening.
Thank you, guys. Hope to see you Friday.
Bye.
Bye.